Why is it that so many people in music and Hollywood fear this guy, Diddy, as if he's untouchable, and even the
Suge or Diddy?
As we all know, Tupac Shakur's life was tragically cut short in 1996. While the identity of the shooter is unknown, there's a belief that there's more to the story. Recently, the Las Vegas police served a search warrant related to this long unsolved case, reigniting interest and hope for justice. But for one person, Sean Diddy Combs, this development is a cause for panic. Diddy has long been a central figure in this case, with rumors suggesting he hired a hitman to execute Tupac.
Meanwhile, we're also getting more details on the Tupac Shakur murder investigation. ABC News is learning more about the target of this week's police search.
I didn't think there'd ever be any more steps taken in this case. It's 27 years old.
We know is that he says that he knows who shot Tupac. And what he said in that documentary was that it came from the back seat.
Despite his alibi, the police have discovered new evidence that could potentially link him to the crime. The evidence includes an iPhone, several laptops, a Vibe magazine about Shakur, photographs, and bullets that could have been the same ones used in the fatal shooting. Diddy has always denied these accusations, attributing them to envy and attempts to tarnish his reputation.
There has been negative propaganda put out about me. That's not true.
However, with the case now being presented to a grand jury in Las Vegas, Diddy's confidence seems to be wavering. The court of public opinion has already made its judgment, with many believing that Diddy was involved in the crime. Retired LAPD officer Greg Kading has been vocal about his belief that Diddy was involved in the crime.
Tupac's supposed to perform at the club that night, and a dark SS Impala pulls up alongside, shoots Biggie several times, and he dies on the way to the hospital. So now there's blood on the ground. And then an unexpected thing takes place. They had to resurrect the case and have us take a new look at it and see if we've missed anything.
In his documentary, Kading directly accused Diddy of planning Tupac's fatal shooting. He claims that Diddy paid $1 million to eliminate his rival, a claim that Diddy has always denied. Now, with the case reopened and new evidence surfacing, Diddy's past may be catching up with him. Even other industry heavyweights like Eminem have referenced the controversy in their music. The fate of Diddy now lies in the hands of the police, and the industry is watching closely. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Diddy has faced such allegations. In 2008, he called a report claiming he was behind the 1994 shooting of Tupac Shakur, completely untrue and a lie. The allegations published on the Los Angeles Times website were said to be based on FBI records, eyewitness accounts, and other unnamed sources. In the documentary Murder Rap, LAPD detective Greg Kading discovered new information linking Diddy to the crime after Biggie Smalls' mother had his murder case reopened in 2006. This documentary further fueled the controversy surrounding Diddy's involvement in Tupac's demise. So, what do you think? Will Diddy manage to evade these accusations as he has in the past, or is the evidence against him too solid this time?
All them gnats, you know, they can't really touch me. Y'all, at the end of the day, y'all see and y'all know what it is. You know, the track record, y'all know the business acumen, y'all know the community service. I don't even care if it's hard to believe, because the proof is there.
Eminem in his track Kill Shot claims that Diddy was responsible for ordering Tupac's death, a claim he later said was a joke. However, given Eminem's admiration for Tupac and his influence on his music, this claim added another layer to the controversy. A discussion on Reddit suggests that Diddy paid a person named Zip to give money to Keith D, who is believed to be involved in Tupac's murder. However, Zip allegedly took off with the money, and Keith never received payment for the alleged hit. But who exactly is Keith D? Born as Dwayne Keith Davis on June 14, 1963, Keith D is a known member of the California-based gang, the Southside Compton Crips. He was a childhood friend of the legendary NWA frontman Eazy-E. Keith D has been implicated in the murder of Tupac Shakur, with allegations suggesting his direct involvement in the crime. Keith D, now 60, was the target of the recent search warrant served by the Las Vegas police. The police searched for potential evidence, including electronic storage devices that could shed light on his alleged involvement in the murder. Interestingly, Keith D is the uncle of Orlando Anderson, the #1 suspect in Tupac's murder case. In a shocking revelation, Keith D claimed in a Netflix documentary that he was in the car in Las Vegas when a fellow passenger shot Tupac. This claim, if true, places him at the scene of the crime, further intensifying the controversy. The narrative involving Zip, Keith D, and Diddy adds another layer of complexity to the case. If Zip did indeed abscond with the money meant for Keith D, it raises questions about the motivations and alliances within this intricate web of relationships. Before we delve further into the controversy, it's important to understand another key player in this narrative, Suge Knight Jr., born on April 19, 1965. Suge Knight is an American record executive who co-founded Death Row Records. He was a central figure in the commercial success of gangsta rap in the 1990s with the record label's first 2 album releases, Dr. Dre's The Chronic in 1992 and Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style in 1993. Knight's reputation in the music industry is not without its controversies. In 2018, he was sentenced to 28 years in prison for the death of a man during a hit-and-run incident on the set of the movie Straight Outta Compton. This incident further solidified his image as a figure of notoriety in the industry. The feud between Tupac Shakur and Diddy, also known as the East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry, was a major part of the hip-hop scene in the 1990s. This feud was not just between the two artists, but also extended to their respective record labels, Death Row Records and Bad Boy Records. The rivalry began with a dispute over the shooting of Tupac in 1994. Tupac accused Diddy and his protege, the notorious B.I.G., of having prior knowledge about the attack. This accusation was the spark that ignited a feud that would last until Tupac's death in 1996. The feud was characterized by diss tracks, public insults, and even physical altercations. Tupac's track, Hit 'Em Up, is one of the most notorious diss tracks of all time, in which he claimed to have had an affair with Faith Evans, the notorious B.I.G.'s wife, and threatened to kill Diddy and Biggie. Diddy and Biggie denied the accusations, and the feud escalated. The rivalry between the two coasts, fueled by the media, created a dangerous environment that many believe led to the murders of both Tupac and Biggie.
We two individual people, we waged a coastal beef. You know what I'm saying? One man against one man made a whole West Coast hate a whole East Coast and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And that really bugged me out. Like, yo, I gotta be the one to flip it and take my power and flip it like, yo, they gotta be dead. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't do that. You know what I'm saying? He can't be the one to be like, yo, I want to squash it because he's gone.
In 1995, Knight offered to pay Tupac's $3 million bail on the condition that he signed with Death Row Records. This move led to a partnership that would shape the landscape of the rap industry and ultimately end in tragedy. Mike Tyson has also stepped into the spotlight, alleging he possesses compelling evidence linking music mogul Sean Diddy Combs to the incident involving Tupac. Mike Tyson, the former heavyweight boxing champion, is at the forefront of these allegations, suggesting Diddy's involvement in the crime.
So somebody gets shot, I go to the hospital to see him, and then somebody else got killed. So I go to the funeral to see him, but the guy that went to the hospital is the guy that killed my friend I'm going to the funeral for. I'm at my friend's, I'm crying that my friend is in this hospital, he's shot. And next thing you know, I'm going to my friend's funeral, but he shot my friend. It's crazy, right?
Tyson's motivations for exposing the alleged sinister activities of the music mogul are deeply personal. It's no secret that Tupac was in the audience at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas on that fateful night, having attended to watch his friend Mike Tyson face off against Bruce Seldon. The bond between the rapper and the boxer was well known in the industry. They were more than just acquaintances. They were close friends who had consistently supported each other throughout their careers. The aftermath of Tupac's death left Tyson grappling with immense guilt and sorrow. He's often spoken about the regret he feels for inviting Tupac to the fight that night. Tyson confessed he had plans to spend the evening with Tupac at Club 662, but chose to stay home due to family commitments. Their camaraderie was evident in their shared moments, from partying together to Tupac's unwavering support during Tyson's matches, even during Tyson's prison term. Tupac was among the few who visited him in prison. The loss of Tupac was a devastating blow to Tyson. The pain and guilt he feels are palpable, especially given the knowledge he claims to possess about the events surrounding Tupac's death, details he had until now kept under wraps.
I know who I am. I know what my element's about. In my world, this is what happens in my world.
The former heavyweight champion, also known as Iron Mike, has long harbored fears for his own safety. However, with recent developments into the investigation into Tupac's murder, Tyson seems more emboldened to share previously undisclosed details.
You know, it's very competitive, very dog-eat-dog. People who are your friends at one time, next thing you know, they turned on you. Come over to the house, I need to do something for me, man. Or they go over your house and they kill you and rob your house for your drugs and stuff. These are people you lived in a sandbox with.
He believes that the trail of evidence will inevitably lead to one individual, the renowned music mogul Diddy.
I knew him before he was Diddy. I knew him for a long time. When I first became champ, I knew him. I remember him. He used to have crates when he used to have my after parties and stuff. Also when they were throwing parties.
It's no secret that there was animosity between Diddy and Tupac in 1994. Tyson remains unconvinced, suggesting that no one else had a motive to target the rap icon. The investigation into Tupac's murder has been reinvigorated and is expected to span several weeks, if not months.